Good evening. Welcome to Sports News. I am Anil Thomas. The big World Cup quarterfinals in hockey begin today. Our top focus is going to be that. Lots of other stories from Champions League and badminton. But first up, let's take a look at the headlines we are tracking this hour. The quarterfinal stage of the 2018 Hockey World Cup gets underway with Argentina and England all square in the opening last 8 fixture. France and Argentina to square off in the second game. Belgium and the Netherlands notch a high five in the final crossover games to book their last ticket in the Hockey World Cup. Pakistan knocked out early from the World Cup. Mixed luck for India at the BWF World Tour Finals in Guangzhou. PV Sindhu wins while Sameer Verma loses on the first night of the clash with the world's top 8 players in the fray. Season-ending finale, last opportunity for Indians to end the year on a high. And Alisson saves the day with a brilliant save in injury time to help Liverpool notch a 1-0 win over Napoli in the UEFA Champions League. Mohamed Salah's solitary strike and win helps 4 English clubs reach the round of 16. With the top story there from the quarterfinal action that begins today, and the first match, Argentina and England there, all fair and square there in the middle. The two teams fighting it out, no team giving another team a chance. Argentina were quick off the blocks with that opener coming through that penalty corner strike, where they took that 1-0 lead. But England coming back strongly, pretty strong there in the second quarter of play there, coming back strongly to equalize things up. So it's 1-1 there in that particular outing between the two sides. As we speak, the scoreline reads 1-1, and it's an interesting contest there between the two teams there in the middle there on the AstroTurf in Bhubaneswar. The two teams 1-1 in the first quarter final clash. Argentina and England there fighting it out for a place in the semi-finals. Meanwhile, there's another contest. The competition will be fierce as we near the quarter-final stage. The first quarter-final, as we said, is currently being played between Argentina and England. Let's give you a fair look at how they have reached this stage. The two teams have had fairly contrasting campaigns. The Rio Olympic gold medalist Argentina finished at the top of Pool A with 6 points, while France finished second in the group and then won their crossover game to book their ticket to the last try. So it's an interesting contest there. Of the 7 teams, of the 7 matches the two teams have clashed since 2013, 4 were won by Argentina, while 3 were draws. However, in World Cups, the two teams have met 8 times, and England went on to win 3 of the matches. 3 ended in a stalemate, and Argentina had the upper hand in 2 of them. Even though Argentina faced a setback in the match against France, they are expected to bounce back strongly and win that outing against England today evening. It's surely going to be a close-knit game, that opening fixture, and as we rightly said in the pre-match analysis, it's going to be a close contest, and the teams evenly poised there with the scoreline reading 1-1. Meanwhile, in the second clash, world champions Australia will be a tough nut to crack for France in that second quarter-final clash that's going to take place at around 7 this evening. Even though France have been the surprise package of the 2018 World Cup, beating the Kookaburras is still asking too much from them. All in all, Australia is at their very best and is likely to continue their unbeaten streak as they lock horns with France in that quarter-final game. The Kookaburras and Les Blues have clashed thrice since 2013. Australia went to win all the 3 games. They won 3-2 when they last met in the 2017 World League. Prior to that, they have thrashed France 10-0 in the 2015 World League. The odds are all in favor of the defending champions, but it would not be a one-sided affair as the French players are playing with such confidence and displaying great skills. Well, those are two games that will be played today, the two quarterfinals and the two teams that will walk into the semi-finals. Meanwhile, there were two crossover games that were played last evening, and the crossover teams, the team that won that outing managed to make their place in the quarterfinals. Let's take a look at that first crossover game that was played yesterday. The Netherlands defeated Canada 5-0 in that crossover clash in the 2018 Hockey World Cup in Bhubaneswar and will face India in the quarterfinals on Thursday evening. Dominating the proceedings, Netherlands scored 5 field goals through Lars Black, Robert Kapperman, Tis van Dam and Tory Brinkman to register that comfortable win at the Kalinga Stadium. In the match between world number 4 Netherlands and world number 11 Canada, the Dutch were the early aggressors as they made continuous forays into the Canada half. Netherlands were a bit sloppy with a penalty corner conversion, but in the end registered a comfortable 5-0 victory. Well, Pakistan have been sent packing from this tournament pretty early as Belgium thrashed Pakistan 5-0 to qualify for the quarterfinals of the Hockey World Cup in Bhubaneswar. The men in green made an early exit from the World Cup without registering a single win in the tournament. Their only point came when they were held to a 1-1 draw by Malaysia. They were beaten by Germany and the Netherlands. Belgium, on the other hand, triumphed in their opening game against Canada and 5-1 against South Africa and were held to a 2-2 draw by India. Pakistan and Belgium last played each other twice at the World Cup, with Pakistan winning both the times in 1973 and 2002. But Belgium now, after that win, will play Germany in the quarterfinals. Well, for more on that story, Tapas joins us from Bhubaneswar, where he's tracking that World Cup for us. Tapas, good evening. Tapas, how would you look at it? You know, the two teams there out in the middle, it's quarterfinals, so things going to be a bit more tight. How do you look at the game that's currently being played?
Well, Argentina are world number 2 and England will be chasing history, in fact, because in the last 5-6 matches we have seen England not been able to get the better of Argentina. Argentina, meanwhile, they would like to get, in the last pool match they lost against France, so they will be eager to, put that behind and make sure that in the next couple of matches, especially in the quarterfinal and this semi-final, if they manage to win this match, in the semi-final, they are in a position to challenge the other teams. Remember, Argentina have won the gold in Olympics, so they are the what you call are very much in the fray of winning this tournament along with Australia and India. So they have to show that they have it in them to make sure that this match, as of now it is poised 1-1. They have to pull up their socks in the next couple of quarters to win this match. England, meanwhile, on the other hand, have shown in the last couple of matches, especially against New Zealand, in New Zealand the Kiwis were absolutely tight on the defense, yet they managed to breach their defense and score 2 goals. So they will be hoping that they can restrict Argentina and take the match to the shootout. So those are some of the things that both the teams will be looking to make sure that the match goes all the way to the wire, and I'm sure that none of the teams will like to lose any steam before that final hooter.
Okay, Tapas, put this into perspective for us. You look at the way Argentina started this tournament and the way England started the tournament. England started off with, being pretty shaky. But once they played that final game against Ireland, this unit seems to be totally different. How has England, during that group stage and the crossover, what's the progress been, and what's been that big change in their strategy that they have been able to do so good even in this quarterfinal clash?
See, the point here when we talk to English captain and the coach, what they feel is that it takes generally England time to come into a particular tournament. But as of now, even after the last match, also they felt that their team is still not there, and they are actually hoping that in this quarterfinal match they can bring their A game to the fore. The idea is to actually attack Argentina in the flanks. Argentina's strength lies in the middle, and they they control the match in the middle, and that's where they would the midfield they would like to make sure that Argentina don't enjoy the ball position that they tend to enjoy, and if that they can manage that, they have quite a good chances. But as you have said earlier, that England team have shown after the Ireland match, and as well as in last match against New Zealand, they have a tendency to pick up late in the match, and the coach will be hoping, especially the senior players will be hoping that they can do the same, especially in the third quarter and the fourth quarter. Because remember, the point with Argentina and Australia, if you look at even at their their match practice, the intensity that they bring in the match practice is something that a lot of teams can learn from them.
Okay.
So one of the things that they tend to do well is that they keep the intensity and that passion going till the fourth quarter, where most of the teams tend to drop their guard, and that is where they catch hold of many of the other teams. So the idea is to not lose your focus. English team will be hoping that they can push the Argentine side to the last quarter, and who knows, maybe they can run them.
Okay. Looking at that other game, how do you look at the French team? They've come as a surprise package in this tournament. If you look at the top 8 teams that are there in the quarterfinals, that's the team that's least likely to be there. Having said that, do you feel that the French have the firepower to trouble the Australians?
Well, honestly, no, it doesn't look like. But with the French team, especially with this French team, if you count them out, they have a tendency to come out with some of their A performances. But having said that, against Kookaburras, against the Australian team, it's a Herculean task. It's basically a David versus Goliath battle that you have to see. Last 3 matches in the World Cup, Australia had the better of France. In fact, in the first after the 2013, the first match they had in 2015, the Australian team scored almost more than 10 goals in one of the matches. So this Australian team is like a juggernaut. When they are on the move, it is very difficult to stop them. French side would be the only thing that they would be hoping is that they can stop this juggernaut somewhere in the let's say in their advancing at the forward line. If they can manage that forward and the midfield, they will think that they have done something really remarkable. The idea for French is to make sure that they don't concede goals, and that is what they would like to do.
One final word on the turf in Bhubaneswar. Do you somewhere feel this particular turf is not playing true? The ball is coming a bit slow, and European teams are finding it a bit difficult to get a grip on that particular turf.
Well, a lot of people said that, but it doesn't look like. If you talk to FIH people, and then there's a lot of people who spoke about this, but if you talk to FIH people, they feel that this is an international standard turf. In fact, we just spoke to the FIH president and other people. They feel that this turf is one of the best turf you could actually come up with. In fact, after a while, they are thinking of getting rid of this water turf. And in fact, their idea is to by 2024 they would like to have a waterless turf. So that is a big news coming from FIH. So in let's say by 2024 Olympics, we may see the introduction of waterless turf. And also one big thing that they have said that in a way in a year or so we may see more teams, especially the teams who are not in the 2025 rank, teams where hockey needs to make an inroad in countries. They may actually play hockey not just in AstroTurf, but or for that matter on any turf. So that kind of relaxation FIH is willing to do. So those are some of the main points that you can get from FIH.
Thank you, and appreciate you joining us this evening with those updates. We'll wait and watch how things pan out there on the hockey turf, and also off it where FIH president is talking big about hockey now going, hockey, we're seeing hockey on a new turf where there is no water, waterless hockey and waterless turf that could be introduced, and more nations coming into the fold where they can play hockey. Well, time now for us to slip into a short breather here. On the other side, we'll take a look at what's happening in the Badminton World Super Series. That's the finale tournament. Also a look at Champions League. But now, time for a short break.
नमस्कार नमस्कार नमस्कार। क्या भैया?
सेप्टिक टैंक शौचालय के लिए।
सेप्टिक टैंक ये जब भर जाएगा तो कचरा कहाँ फेंकोगे?
फिर से लौटा यात्रा शुरू।
सुनिए,
2 गड्ढों वाले शौचालय के बारे में सुना है? नहीं सुना? आइए समझाते हैं।
देखिए 2 गड्ढा बनाइए। पहले वाला जब मल से भर जाएगा ना तो ये चालू हो जाएगा, और साल भर के अंदर इसके अंदर जो मल है ये खाद बन जाएगा, इसे खाली कर दीजिए। इसी तरह शौचालय जो है वो आजीवन चलता है, न बीमारी फैलेगी न बदबू।
और पैसे?
अरे वो सेप्टिक टैंक से कई गुना सस्ता। हाँ, क्या समझे?
शौचालय 2 गड्ढों वाला ही बनवाना है
और स्वच्छता को सदा अपनाना है।
अरे कहाँ जा रहे हो? रात से मुन्नी को बहुत तेज बुखार है, डॉक्टर को दिखाने क्लिनिक जा रहे हैं।
सरकारी अस्पताल लेके जाना, वहाँ 1 साल तक बच्चे का इलाज मुफ्त होता है।
जननी शिशु सुरक्षा कार्यक्रम में माँ के लिए गर्भावस्था और डिलीवरी से जुड़ी जांच और इलाज, और बच्चे के लिए 1 साल की उम्र तक जांच और इलाज की सुविधाएं पूरी तरह मुफ्त। दवा, जांच, आना जाना, नॉर्मल या ऑपरेशन वाली डिलीवरी, उस वक्त अस्पताल में रहना, खाना और 1 साल तक के शिशु का इलाज भी। तो आज ही अपने नजदीकी सरकारी अस्पताल से संपर्क करें।
ये दवाएं जल्दी प्लीज, जल्दी कीजिए।
तुमने बिल तो लिया ही नहीं।
अरे जल्दी में हूँ ना।
पक्के बिल के बगैर सामान के घटिया या नकली पाए जाने पर ना तो उसे बदल पाएंगे, न ही किसी तरह की कानूनी क्षतिपूर्ति ही मिलेगी। दवाएं और खाने पीने की चीजें नकली होने से तो जिंदगी भी खतरे में पड़ सकती है।
सही बात है, आप बिल दीजिए।
जब भी पैसे दें पक्का बिल हाथों हाथ लें।
जागो ग्राहक जागो।
झाड़ के पीछे, पेड़ के नीचे, तालाब के आजू, पटरी के बाजू, करते हो तुम पेट हल्का, ना शौचालय ना है नल का, फैल गई गंदगी बीमारी चारों ओर। अरे इसीलिए बॉस शट द डोर।
मतलब
दरवाजा बंद करो, दरवाजा बंद, दरवाजा बंद तो बीमारी बंद। अरे खुले में जब शौच करोगे, खुल के रोग फैलाओगे, तो भाई बीमार पड़ोगे सब संग।
तो क्या करें?
दरवाजा बंद करो, दरवाजा बंद, दरवाजा बंद तो बीमारी बंद। बात समझ में आई तो ही लाओ अपनी मुंडी, शौच करना है तो बंद करो भाई कुंडी।
शौचालय का उपयोग कीजिए और भारत को स्वच्छ बनाइए।
Welcome back on to badminton, where the season-ending finale in the badminton is taking place in that World Tour Finals. And Olympic silver medalist shuttler PV Sindhu eked out a hard-fought win over world number 2 and defending champion Ake Yamaguchi in the opening women's singles Group A match of the World Tour Finals on Wednesday morning. Sindhu, who had finished runners-up at the last edition in Dubai, dished out a superb game mixed with patience and aggression to defeat the Japanese in straight games 24-22, 21-15. Sindhu will next play world number 1 and top seed in the tournament Tai Tzu Ying of Chinese Taipei. Sindhu is in Group A and is the pool of death. Later on the same court, it is always going to be tough for Sameer Verma against the rampaging Kento from Japan, who streaked into an 11-4 lead early on. Verma fought back and held his own to save 4 game points, but it was the Japanese who prevailed 21-18 to win the opening game. The second was easier for Momato as he brushed aside Verma, taking the game 21-6 in a one-sided display. The top 2 players from each group will qualify for the semi-finals, after which a knockout draw will be conducted. Only the 8 top players in the world compete in the prestigious season-ending event. Well, on to football, where Mohamed Salah's goal sent Liverpool into the Champions League last 16 as a 1-0 result required helped them leapfrog Napoli in Group C was achieved as they qualified for the round of 16. The forwards' first half strike ultimately clinched 3 points from a fraught encounter against the Italian outfit that remained in the balance until the last kick. It was a result sufficient to lift Jurgen Klopp's team above Napoli in the section by virtue of goals scored, with the head-to-head record and goal difference unable to separate them. The Reds therefore take second place behind Paris Saint-Germain and will be in next Monday's draw for the first round of the competition's knockout stage. Tottenham Hotspur, meanwhile, another English club, went into new camp with a job to do to advance in the Champions League, beat Barcelona or match Inter Milan's result at home against PSV. They weren't able to get that historic win, but they did enough to advance to the round of 16. Spurs got a late goal from Lucas Moura to earn an exciting draw, and Inter were only able to draw PSV Eindhoven at home. The end result, Tottenham completed an incredible comeback in this Champions League group stage and advanced to the knockout rounds, finishing in second place in Group B by tiebreaker. So there are 4 English clubs that have reached the round of 16 in the UEFA Champions League. While moving ahead, Liverpool Plate battled back from a goal down to beat Argentinian rivals Boca Juniors 3-1 after extra time in the rescheduled Copa Libertadores final second leg, which was controversially played in Madrid after violence had seen the original game postponed. Dario Benedetto put Boca ahead at the end of a bruising first half at the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium. But River, who also came back twice in the 2-2 draw in the first leg, levelled in the 68th minute to striker Lucas Prato after a superb team move. River were given a huge advantage when Boca midfielder Wilmer Barrios was sent off in the 3rd minute of extra time and seized it thanks to a sizzling strike from Colombian international Juan Fernando Quintero in the 109th minute. Gonzalo Martinez sealed the victory 5-3 on aggregate at the death, with a tap-in after Boca's entire team had poured forward in search of an equalizer, giving River a 4th title and denying Boca a record-leveling 7th. River's victory means they will represent South America in the Club World Cup that starts in United Arab Emirates from today. The game was moved 10,000 kilometers away from River's monumental stadium to Madrid as Boca's team's bus was ambushed before the originally scheduled game, leaving several Boca Junior players injured from the impact of the smashed windows and from tear gas that had been fired by the police. Well, a quick update there as we they weren't able to get that historic win, but they did enough to advance to the round of 16. Spurs got a late goal from Lucas Moura to earn an exciting draw, and Inter were only able to draw PSV Eindhoven at home. The end result, Tottenham completed an incredible comeback in this Champions League group stage and advanced to the knockout rounds, finishing in second place in Group B by tiebreaker. So there are 4 English clubs that have reached the round of 16 in the UEFA Champions League. While moving ahead, Liverpool Plate battled back from a goal down to beat Argentinian rivals Boca Juniors 3-1 after extra time in the rescheduled Copa Libertadores final second leg, which was controversially played in Madrid after violence had seen the original game postponed. Dario Benedetto put Boca ahead at the end of a bruising first half at the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium. But River, who also came back twice in the 2-2 draw in the first leg, levelled in the 68th minute to striker Lucas Prato after a superb team move. River were given a huge advantage when Boca midfielder Wilmer Barrios was sent off in the 3rd minute of extra time and seized it thanks to a sizzling strike from Colombian international Juan Fernando Quintero in the 109th minute. Gonzalo Martinez sealed the victory 5-3 on aggregate at the death, with a tap-in after Boca's entire team had poured forward in search of an equalizer, giving River a 4th title and denying Boca a record-leveling 7th. River's victory means they will represent South America in the Club World Cup that starts in United Arab Emirates from today. The game was moved 10,000 kilometers away from River's monumental stadium to Madrid as Boca's team's bus was ambushed before the originally scheduled game, leaving several Boca Junior players injured from the impact of the smashed windows and from tear gas that had been fired by the police.